Hello there, it's me, Sari here again, and today I'm here with an attempt to make a surprise pop-up card with both inches and centimeters as a guide. So hold your thumbs or cross your fingers or whatever you have to do to wish me luck while I'm doing this. My thought is that I'll be having a card looking like this when it's over and done with a tag, pull tag, that will be up here like so when this one is pulled. So this is what I'm going for right now. Let's see if I end up here. I have used craft cardstock. This is pretty thick paper and I do like it because it has the perfect color, but also that it is a bit tough and it has a nice texture and structure to it. And you are going to need 2 pieces of these. I have made 2 of them, but I have covered the second one with a white piece of paper because I have done the stamping that is going to end up in the hole. It's going to be visible when you're going to pull up that tag like that. I did the same thing on the tag, the pull tag that I'm going to put underneath. Put a white piece of paper there, and I left a bit of a brownness around it, so to give it some kind of a continuous flow. Thinking about it now, perhaps I oughtn't have left anything white, anything brown around it, but it's the way it is right now. So let me give you the measurements. First off, you are going to start cutting 2 pieces of paper, measuring 4 6/8 inch. 4 6/8 times 6 5/8. That is 4 3/4, 4 3/4, and 6 5/8. And in centimeters that will be 12 by 12 centimeters and 1 millimeter, but you can make it 12 if you wanted to, I'm sure. And then 16.9, and I would have made it into 17 if I were you. So 12 and 17, just to even the sums out a little bit. So when you have done so, you're going to take cut 2 of them, and then you're going to take 1 of them and you're going to make this flap die cut out. And just to make it easy and just to give you the possibility of actually making this card in almost any size you want to, I would like to give you a couple of tips. All you have to think about really is how big you want this easel function to be in order to have the thing that you want to put on your card. So how big an easel do you need or want to be able to put the thing that you want there? I mean, you could go for just having something almost the same size as this, gluing it down half-wise like this, and then it would pop up. Let me see. It would pop up standing a little bit on top of that piece. Or you could go as I did here, just putting something over the complete card, but bearing in mind that you don't cover this flap, because otherwise you won't be able to pull it up. So you just have to think about that. So if you have a photo, if you want to do something with, let's say, Project Life or something, you could actually make it to your own custom desires. And after that, you could actually just think about how wide a frame do you want. In this case, I have made it 1 inch all over, just because it's easier. 2 54 in centimeters. But you could make it 2 1/2 if you want to, of course. So it's all up to you. Perhaps you would like a 3 centimeter wide frame that is a little bit wider than 1 inch. So it's really up to you. And the tag, well, if you want a tag like this, you could go for that. But if you don't want it, you could actually cut out half circle here and have a piece of paper that you can pull up with a piece of string or something. But I do like tags, and that is why I've chosen to use this one. It's a little bit more sturdy also with that. But let's continue with the cuts. So you're going to take one of your pieces and you are going to cut your paper. First, I would absolutely put it vertical. No, yeah, vertical, standing up like this in your trimmer. I would put it at 1 inch in your trimmer, and I would absolutely mark out where you have your 1 inch line, so you know where to put your knife from the get-go, unless you have a ruler that will help you do it. So keep it in 1 inch there, find a 1 inch mark here, and then go down to whatever you need to leave a 1 inch bit here. In this case, you are going to do your first cut from 1 inch to 5 5/8. 1 inch to 5 5/8. In centimeters, that is 2.5 approximately to 14.3 approximately. Then I would do the same thing, just flipping the paper over like that, and do the same scores or same cut from 1 to 5/8 or 2.5 to 14.3. And then when you have done those two cuts, it's time to twist the paper like this and make sure you put it in your 1 inch mark again, and just cut between those lines down here. You're just going to put your trimmer down here and just cut it down there. So you're going to cut from the 5 5/8 down to so you can have 1 inch left here. Then it's time to start scoring. And you are going to score at 1 inch, but you're not going to score the complete card itself. You have to make sure you find the line for, you're just going to put your bone folder really lightly here and here, but give it some pressure in the center here. So at 1 inch, at 3 inches, and then at 4 3/4. So 1, 3, and 4 3/4. And if you want to make it in centimeters, you could go for 2.5, 7.7, and 12.1. And that's about it. Then you have to make this. I usually start with the centerpiece, so I'm making that into a mountain, and the rest of them I'm just going to squeeze together and make them into valleys. So in this case, you have actually come this far, and you can see that the easel is functioning really nicely there. So you have your two pieces. One is going to be cut in, and the one is going to be just as it is. You could, of course, cut another piece with the same measurements, and that is 4 3/4 times 6 5/8, or in centimeters 12 and 17. And you could just glue it down on that piece of paper. And before you do your stamping, I would, having done the cutting here, I would place this on top here, pull it up a little, thinking where will I want it to end. I'm thinking somewhere there. I would use my pencil just to make some guidelines and then do my stamping. In this case, I have used a finished stamp, which says something about now is the time to enjoy life. So what else do you need to do? Well, you need to make your tag, of course. So the tag in itself measures 3 inches times 6.5. In centimeters, it will be 7.6 centimeters times 16.5 centimeters. The white piece, if you would like to put that one there, it is 5.5 times 2 7/8. In centimeters, it's 13.7 times 7.3. I will be putting down these measurements in the description box below the video itself. So I'm hoping you'll be able to follow me that way. So let's see if I can assemble this now. Let's see, because now you have to think about putting glue on this piece here. So you will be able to make the tag glide. I'm actually putting on a fair amount of glue or tape there. I'm just making sure that nothing of the tape is visible on the outside. And now that I have this one lying here, I'm going to take this one and put it on this piece down here. And this bit is wider than the opening here, and the reason for that is that it will be a little bit easier to make it slide and glide. Perhaps I have made it too narrow, I'm not sure, we'll have to see about that. And I'm just going to put it like so. Let's see what has happened here. Something has stuck, I don't know what. Oh, it's the cogwheel that actually got stuck somewhere. That could be a drawback of actually doing the decorations beforehand. Let's see. So now you have this motion. And before you do a stamping up here, you could also have this measuring thing going, well, this is going to end up perhaps here, so I have this room almost, oh my goodness. So you have the motion like this now, and before you do your stamping, I would have pulled this one up here, imagined where it will end up with the stamped saying here, and how much room you've got up here to put your stamp up, or the greeting on. So now I have come this far. Of course you could decorate this further. You could ink it up, you could do some stamping around it. In this case I'm just keeping it simple for demonstrative purposes really. And now it's time to put some tape around the bits and pieces here. So I'm actually able to glue that card down. I'm thinking that perhaps I need to put, well, I don't think I need to put anything up here because otherwise I'll be gluing it down now, won't I? So just on the three sides here, and I'm going to mount the card on top like so. The drawback, of course, with a white piece of paper, if you have glued it down incorrectly, it will show like this, but you could trim it off later, I'm sure. So now we are here. Now we have this card looking like that. You could, of course, think about how you want to decorate this further. I went for cogwheels because I like cogwheels. I could end up inking the edges of this one just to make it pop a little bit from the tag down below. I think that I will put in a big eyelet here and a piece of string or something just to make it easier, but on the other hand it is really easy as it is right now. So you see it actually works, but perhaps I ought to make measurements a little bit wider for the tag down here. You have to bear in mind that you are going to put some glue here, so perhaps it shouldn't be too wide either. So that's really something you should think about. But I do like this card. It's a nice surprise, and it is called a surprise pop-up card, or a surprise easel card perhaps. So this is it. It seems like I have been out of frame most of the time. I hope that you still have some kind of a use from this tutorial. And I'll do my best putting down all the measurements, both in inches and centimeters, in the description box, as I told you before. I could end up putting perhaps a statement, a stamped saying or something here, just to give it fullness to this card, and it will also be visible standing on the outside there. But as for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to wish you all the best with your own surprise pop-up card. Alright, it's time for me to sign off, and I'm going to say bye-bye.